Welcome to the Ugly Truth. I don't know what episode this is. Halloween weekend.
Maybe this is our segue into stop doing it because we didn't do it last week either.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
So this is a combo show.
Yeah.
We normally have a separate show for our recap on the Golden Bachelor, but we're going to combo that with our regular show this week because you and I, after we're done here, we're going downstairs to have a little family party and everybody's down there and it's Halloweeny and I still have to get my wig and everything on for our party. So
I was like, great, I'm so glad I came in costume. Literally no one is dressed up.
Well, we're
Daryl's walking around with a fishing pole.
Yeah, he walks in and he goes
Tide Pod at the end of it.
And he puts a hat on, he goes, guess what I am? And I'm like, a fisherman? And he's like, well, kind of. He goes, what's this? And I'm like, a dishwasher pod? He's like, no. And I go, a Tide Pod? He goes, yeah. I go, you're a Tide Pod fisherman? And he goes, no. He goes, what am I doing? And I'm like, I don't know. You're gonna have to spoon it out. Please spoon feed me. Yeah. I don't know. He's like, I'm a podcaster.
I know. It was funny.
He's like, it's a dad joke. I'm like, I get it.
It was a dad joke. And the only reason why I laughed is not because it was funny. It was just because he was so amused with himself.
Oh, he was just so tickled.
Was hilarious.
Tickled pink.
I was like, you dork.
Anyway, okay, so we'll do the Golden Bachelor at the end.
Okay.
So if you're accustomed to listening to our recaps, you can fast forward to whatever, 15 minutes, and you can listen to that then. Maybe Daryl will even put the little golden
Oh, does he do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Really quick. Elephant in the room. Matthew Perry died.
He just died.
And I'm actually really
24.
struggling with it.
With Matthew Perry?
I'm struggling.
I wasn't all that surprised.
Well,
I was surprised with the manner for which he died.
I saw an interview just this morning that he did when he was promoting his book that he just did.
Yeah.
And he said he was doing it because he said, he goes, if I die, it will be shocking, but not surprising.
Oh.
Those words came out of his mouth.
I wonder why he said that.
Because Stephanie, when I tell you the amount of struggle this man has gone through.
Oh, no, I know.
I was reading.
I have followed his story. I know.
Oh, for sure. But there were things that I didn't even know about. He's so open about it too. Mm-hmm. It's not like, it's not like he's like, don't talk about it. So he became addicted to Vicodin after a jet ski accident in 1997. He did a 28-day rehab for that. He went down to 145 pounds.
Wow.
He was so ill. At age 30, he suffered an alcohol-induced pancreatitis, and for some reason, they note erectile dysfunction. I don't know why that's there. That's like weird. He went into rehab again in 2001 for a Vicodin, methadone, and amphetamine and alcohol addiction.
Sakes, that's a bad combo.
Like all the things.
Well, that particular combo is deadly.
He said that due to his addiction issues, he doesn't remember 3 years of being on Friends. Between seasons 3 and 6, he has no recollection at all.
So when he watches it, he's probably like, wow, this is the first time.
Wow, this is really funny. I don't remember doing this.
That's crazy.
In 2018, he spent 5 months in a hospital for a gastrointestinal perforation. During the hospital stay, he nearly died after his colon burst from opioid abuse.
My goodness.
He spent 2 weeks in a coma and used a colostomy bag for 9 months.
Oh my gosh.
Upon being admitted to the hospital, doctor told his family that he had a 2% chance of survival. He was connected to an extracorporeal membrane oxygenation machine.
Wow.
And it breathed for him. 2 years later, he was in rehab in Switzerland. He faked pain to get a prescription of 1,800 milligrams of oxy and was having daily ketamine infusions. He was given propofol in conjunction with a surgery, which stopped his heart for 5 minutes.
Well, propofol is what Michael Jackson died from.
Yes. So he got CPR. They broke 8 ribs. He paid someone $175,000 for a private jet to take him to LA so he could get more drugs. They all refused. He spent another $175,000 to get back to Switzerland.
Wow.
In 2022, he estimated that $9 million was spent on his addiction, including 14 surgeries on his stomach, 15 stays in rehab, 6,000 Alcoholic Anonymous meetings, and therapy twice a week for 30 years.
This person was
ill.
They haven't said, but I'm sure he drowned because he was intoxicated.
Well,
I think.
All I know is,
I mean, come on. The last time that last thing you read was 2022.
Yeah, it was last year.
So Did he suddenly become a saint between now and then, and he was clear of
Especially
everything?
after his press tour?
No.
I mean, the thing is that interestingly, remember I sent you that video of the lead singer of Color Me Bad?
Yes.
He has.
I wasn't sure why. Well, yes.
First of all, I could not believe how large he has.
He's very heavy, but
he's very
alcohol
overweight.
will do that to you.
And he's very open about how aggressively addicted he is to alcohol. He's like, I have a raging addiction. I've been in and out of rehab. It's not working. I binge drink. Like, he's really open about it.
Yeah, it's so sad.
I guess that's part of it, at least acknowledging that you have this addiction. But now,
Well, it's really hard to hide it when you're famous.
Well, and he's not even that. I mean,
no, that's
not anymore.
Not anymore. But they, a lot of times old musicians that were popular back in the day, they will still
absolutely
run in circles of like producers and people who are still in the business.
Well, and they do perform still.
Yeah,
they're very popular still. I mean,
true.
I would go see Color Me Bad.
Why not?
I mean,
if they were at some local club or they were in Vegas or something and they were playing at a show, I'd see them.
But it's the raw admittance of it, and Matthew Perry was the same way. He's like, I have it's not serious is putting it lightly.
Yeah, I know.
Initially they said, he drowned in his spa. To me, he probably had some kind of health emergency,
or he
unconscious,
he passed
and
out.
then drowned.
Yeah,
I mean, it could be anything.
So many things. I mean, Whitney Houston died in a bathtub. Her daughter died in a bathtub.
Same.
Water, hot water, and
makes you go to sleep,
intoxication is not a good combination.
Exactly. So either way, I'm sad. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I wasn't
either. But I am very saddened by it.
Yeah, me too.
Because just.
Well, I mean, he
was very popular
in many things. I mean,
Friends is great.
Friends is obviously the biggest thing that most of us remember him by, but he was in lots and lots of things, many movies, and he was just funny. And for me, his characters are a time in my life where I was younger and life was different. So I mean, I think for us, a lot of us, it reminds us of things that were going on in our own life.
I mean, I just look and see, and he. Obviously the recent photos, he didn't look great. No, he looked like he was kind of struggling. Yeah. He had gone to the gym the day before he passed away. So, I think he was just trying to fight whatever demons he had all the time.
I think it's like that constantly for people who are addicted to things. Every day is like, today's the day I'm going to do better.
It's so, and you know what? Good. Try. Yeah. Every day try.
And never give up. They fail, but they're still like, okay, I have to, today's the day.
You know what? Every day you wake up is a day you can try again.
Yep.
In my opinion.
Totally. It's never too late to try.
Always.
Yeah. This is so interesting because a very, very good friend of mine, one of my best friends, lost a very good friend of hers to alcoholism the other day. And she had no idea that this friend was
so ill.
Suffering. She didn't even know. She had no clue. So it was so heartbreaking for her. And but it reminded me of this, different in the sense that it's so shameful for people.
Yeah.
And that she could never tell or reach out or nobody knew, it's just, so I understand when people that wake up every day and are like, okay, today's the day I'm going to try so hard. They really mean it.
Of course they do. I don't think Matthew Perry was like, I'm throwing in the towel.
No, never.
Fun fact, which I didn't know until I was reading about his biography, that Keith Morrison is his stepfather.
The guy from Dateline?
Yes.
Yeah, I felt so bad for them.
Did you see the photos of them?
I was furious.
It was horrifying.
I'm like, whoever that Paps is.
The paparazzi was there at his house, and there's mother and stepdad going into his home, and they're just...
his body was still inside. They were going to go in there and see their son.
I know. And the thing is, also, is that they've been married since 1981. This is not like new.
Right.
He's known Matthew
forever.
Since the beginning.
Since his whole life.
Since
he was young.
He was 11 or 12 when they got married. So, yes.
I just thought it was so distasteful.
And apparently, I didn't see it, but apparently Keith Morrison could not have been kinder to them.
He was very kind to them. But they weren't kind to him.
No, they weren't. What a horrible thing.
That is such a horrible thing.
Like, it's bad enough, right?
I mean, and in that moment, you're literally getting out of the car, going into your child's house to see his body.
To identify him, make sure
moments
it's him,
after finding out, and people are taking bright photos in your face.
And I did see one photo. I haven't seen anything else. And I'm just wondering if nobody picked him up on purpose.
Well, like somebody,
no.
Yeah, it was shitty.
Ugly. It was a
so
very,
shitty.
very ugly thing to do.
I struggled with it.
Oh God, definitely.
I couldn't even. I looked at the photo and I'm like, Oh my God.
Like,
I didn't
why?
even read the comments.
Didn't have to.
Didn't have to. Nope. My own thoughts were like, good God.
I know.
Could you be any more cold?
It's like the old school paparazzi.
Oh my God.
It's like they used to do
like
that
the ones
a
who
long
killed
time.
Diana.
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
Speaking of, did you see the new trailer for The Crown?
I have seen the trailer. It's not out yet, right?
No.
It's coming out soon.
I think like November.
Yeah, which is in a week.
Yeah. Oh my God, I can't believe
I
it's
know.
almost November.
It's in actually 3 days.
What is happening?
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I feel like I said this last week that I feel like the fall is when good stuff starts happening.
Yeah.
For TV, and
Yes.
I'm living for it.
It's true. It is true. Anyway, so yeah, Halloween's in a couple of days. Everybody's putting on their little costumes. We're gonna go downstairs and have some enchiladas.
My son is
Fold
running
in the
around
cheese.
in full Spider-Man costume.
I know.
He's got the little hood over his face and everything.
Did you see that Paris Hilton dressed up as Britney Spears
I
this year?
did. I thought
She
that was
looked
so cute.
Good. Speaking of, I got the book.
Right?
I got the book.
I
I
mean,
am
I've practically
probably
not had to read it because everybody is reading excerpts on TikTok.
I was probably like I'm a third of the way through. Probably. I'll be honest, Stephanie. It ain't that informative.
It's like,
I mean, there's some interesting tidbits about her childhood that I didn't know about, like about her parents and how her grandfather, her dad's dad, was just an absolute monster.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was terrible. He actually ended up institutionalizing 2 of his wives.
Good Lord.
He was a cop.
Oh, well, shocking.
Yeah.
This is what we do to women.
Yes, and one of them was pushed to such a level of grief that she actually shot herself on the grave of her baby that died at 3 days old.
Good Lord.
Yeah, horrifying shit.
God.
And they're all named after this fool.
Good God.
Lynn is the middle name, and so everybody's got that name, and I'm like, why?
Well, Brittany doesn't, thank God.
No, she doesn't. Gene, his name was Gene. But
The grandfather?
yes.
Oh.
Anyway.
Great.
Yeah, and I don't even know if he's alive or dead or not. But anyway, my point is that I was reading it going, okay, so basically what it looks like to me, and maybe it changes as I get more
Further
into her
along.
career, but like I've just gotten to the point where she has released one more time. She is huge. She's going all over the place. She's, met Madonna, but there's no like there. It's like, I know all this already.
I think that the anything that was totally not known, like the abortion with Justin and the cheating and all of that, I think that's probably it. I don't think there's going to be anything. I think a lot of it is just her perspective and her hurt being said in words.
Yeah, because
so you can understand what it felt like to be her.
I'm reading this going, okay, so what it sounds like, what it looks like the way this book was transcribed is she's sitting in front of someone and they're recording her talking and telling her stories.
Yeah.
Those are incorporated into the story. And then whenever there's any factual information like I won Best New Artist or whatever she won, that is a completely different tone. So it's almost like they're backing up. They're letting her tell her story. They're telling her success. Like there was no discussion about, she goes, yeah, I went to Sweden and, I recorded and we were super into it and everything. But I'm like, yeah, but we already know all of that stuff.
Yeah.
How the hell did you get a passport? And, all the other shit that happens and I mean, what did it feel like to just suddenly be 15 and
there's none of that.
No. And so, I'm hoping that as she, as we progress past her beginnings of fame, that there's some other information that we're not aware of.
Yeah.
It's not really great. The book ain't great. I mean, I'm glad I bought it because I'm a big fan of Britney getting her freedom and making some money off of her own story and all of that stuff.
Without having to tour, this is going to make her a shit ton of money.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
For sure. But I don't know how they're going to make a movie out of it or how they're going to...
Yeah.
I mean, they've made many Lifetime movies of hers already, which without her permission. So I don't know. I mean, whatever. If this is something she needed to do to get certain things out there,
absolutely.
Then absolutely.
I feel this is how I feel.
I just wish that it was a little better.
Well, I don't know. I hear you. But the things that I've seen on TikTok, people have been reading from the book sections, excerpts. So I've clearly not read the whole thing, but the general idea that I've got out of what I've heard is that she wants people to know what it felt like to be her. Yes, we already know all these things, but you don't know what it felt like for me when I was going through these things that you guys were all watching publicly. That's what I'm hearing.
Well, I would love that, except I haven't gotten to that point yet.
And a lot of it I know for her is pain because her children were used as pawns.
They were manipulated to hate
100%.
her.
It was the only thing that everybody had against her that they knew would work.
And they used it against her.
Completely.
Yeah.
So
completely.
that, as a mother, we all understand. Like,
Yes.
why,
Oh my God,
like,
I
why
can't
would you agree to
imagine.
this? Why would you do that? Why would you go there? You know, well, I would go there. I would do anything if my kids were
If it meant
involved.
that I can see with my children. Yeah, because they took them away from her, and if that would drive anything to anyone to insanity, it would be a mother being separated from her children against her will, like threatened and then followed through.
I mean, if you've ever, and I know you haven't personally, but having been divorced, when you're going through a custody battle, even though mine wasn't as ugly as many people's are, it was still the most painful thing.
Oh yeah.
Even the times that you know your child is safe, they're with my daughter's father was amazing. I never worried about her safety ever.
But it's just that she wasn't with you.
But just her not being there was like having my heart out of my chest. So
You're
I can't even
awful.
imagine what it would be like for someone to take them from me and then change their little minds against me and all of that.
I know. And now they hate her.
I know.
I can't imagine. I hope they grow up and they're not so trash.
I know.
Like, I hope they realize.
They will when they get older as men, but
I hope so. I really do.
They're still so young.
They're barely adults. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing right now with the book. So we'll see. You know, I mean, I'm definitely going to finish it. I will say that it is sad.
Yeah.
It's hard to read because it is sad because I'm like, this girl has been worked since she was a little girl. A lot of it she really wanted. But reality is that once she started making a lot of money, whether she wanted to or not, she did not have an option.
It was just a trap.
And her dad is an asshole.
He is.
He's terrible.
He's terrible.
He was never involved in anything to do with her career until she became famous.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then suddenly he cared.
Yeah, he cared because it was money his coming his way.
Yeah, and he was always trying to make money, and he was always fairly successful in their small town.
Yeah.
But then he would ruin it by drinking.
Oh.
And so he literally blew apart. He had an amazing gym, and he was, he had bodybuilders who were competing and all the things, and he started drinking, and it all blew up.
Wow.
And he ruined it.
Well, at least with Britney, he didn't have to because she was doing all the work.
That's right.
And he just got
all he had to do was find the right people, and that
manipulate her.
Well, and then there are so many disgusting people in the industry who have no problem.
Oh God, they're predators
completely. And
100%.
I think her dad found every single one.
Yeah.
I will say the shocking thing, and I haven't, like I said, I've only, she's 15, 16 years old in the book now where I'm at. She was never molested. She was never sexually assaulted.
Yeah.
So far.
Good.
I mean, I don't know if anything will change, but I kept waiting for that shoe to drop, and I'm like, wow, she was fairly unsupervised.
Yeah.
And never once did any.
I think she's a self-professed good girl. She's
yes.
like, I wasn't a rule breaker. I wasn't
well,
she did some, I'm not saying she was perfect. That she definitely stepped out and did some things.
By the time she was 13, 14, she was in high school, and she was going to high school. Yeah. She was smoking. She had a boyfriend who was a senior, and she was cutting afternoon. They would leave at lunch and go fool around.
But that to me isn't.
It's very typical.
That's just normal.
Exactly. That was
teenage
it.
Stuff.
But literally, that was it.
Yeah.
Like nothing.
Like she's not. Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing wild. No drugs. No nothing.
Although
she did drink with her mother.
I mean, okay, so, and that's normal for a lot of people.
She's like,
let their kids
Mom
drink.
and I, we had such a great time drinking daiquiris together. And I'm like, people were absolutely, shocked and, disgusted by it. I'm like,
no,
that's.
I had a lot of friends whose parents let us drink.
I didn't feel like that was like the worst thing ever. No. And she also said it was a really great time, you know? And I'm like, I mean, a banana daiquiri or pina colada is not a lot of alcohol for starters. Yeah. And I'm not, obviously going, everyone go drink alcohol with your 14-year-old. But it's still, there are far worse things.
We drank wine coolers at that age with our, not with our parents. I did this with other people's parents. Right. And it wasn't a big deal.
There are so many worse things.
Way worse.
Anyway, I was like, I read it and I'm like, why are people saying this is just like, oh my God. And I'm like, whatever.
Stick out of your ass.
I don't know. I think
she survived. And here's the thing.
People have such a hang up about certain things in the United States versus other countries.
I don't even think it's a United States thing.
It is.
Well, maybe. But the thing is.
There's no drinking age in any other country.
Child stars are mature at a very young age.
It's very different.
Because they're around adults from like the time they're like 10 or younger. So they're around adults. They don't have to go to school. They're working. They're doing other things that other little kids don't. So by the time they're 14, It's like they're 21.
Plus, it's not like she was getting hammered.
No.
She was just having, a drink with her mom.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have no issue with it.
I don't know, man. It was like, I'm like, oh, this is the salacious drinking with our mother. I'm like, okay.
Nothing.
I thought it was worse, but it wasn't. Anyway, so I will complete the book. And if I find anything that hasn't been mentioned in the world yet, I'll let you know.
There's a lot of people who've been through the whole book by now.
Oh, many.
And
it's a very easy read.
Yeah, nothing has come out that is groundbreaking.
No, it's a very easy read. But I'm glad that she was able to purge all of that from her body, because I think that was kind of the goal. And so good for her. And I saw today on her Instagram, she has written a new song. And I'm like, I can't wait.
I hope it's good. I hope it's better than the Elton John thing she did.
I don't think that had much to do with her.
Yeah, I don't either.
I think that was more like throw her bone, and she likes being in London, and so I think that's why she did it. Whatever.
Made her a little money, who knows?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, just to get her kind of top of mind again, who knows? Yeah. Anyway, all right, well, that's the end of the traditional show. Okay. Super boring. Oh, actually, really quick, before we get into the Golden Bachelor, I do have an awkward moment.
Oh, of course you do.
Did I tell you about the beaver thing?
I don't know.
When we went wine tasting.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, then I don't have an awkward moment.
We talked about it on the last show.
Yeah, never mind. Sorry, everyone. I don't have an awkward moment.
That was it. Well, it hasn't been that long. We just recorded.
I know.
It's been a week, so.
I know. Anyway, all right. Well, thank you for listening, and you can stop listening, or I highly encourage that you continue listening as we recap episode 5 of The Golden Bachelor.
Yeah, and it's good.
And then Daryl will be like, it's a golden hour. Okay. Whatever. It's your So, with that being said, episode 5. Now, not a ton happened, but we're now down.
Well, we shaved off quite a few.
We're down to it. We're down to it. And I will say, Ellen did what I expected her to do. She laid it on far too thick.
She did. I think she knew.
I think she was.
I'm sorry.
She was grasping.
I think she thought there's a shred of a hope.
Well, here's how you knew it was over. She goes, Gary, I'm falling in love with you. And he's like, thank you. And I'm like, oh, shit.
I knew. She's from the East Coast. It's not going to never
Well,
happen.
not like that, but he clearly wants a brunette.
That's true.
Like he wasn't attracted to them.
Right. He was not into the blondes, but I mean, he wasn't into the East Coast. You're right. No.
There was another one.
He's from the Midwest.
He's from Indiana.
He's not going to be with a girl from New Jersey or New York. It's not going to happen.
A little too much for him.
A lot too much. Yeah.
They're
too much for me. I know that's mean, but
mean.
I have a few friends that once I've gotten to know them and everything, I do like them, but straight out the gate when I meet somebody from the East Coast,
they have a hard candy shell.
Yes,
many do. I don't know about all, but many do have a hard. And you have to look at them and go, "Wait a minute, you're not being rude. This is just kind of
who you are.
This is just
which is one of the reasons why I hated Bethany Frankel forever.
Oh yeah,
God, she just rubbed me the wrong way.
She's gruff.
She's super New York.
She's very New York. You're correct. But anyway, with that being said, the top 3 are, as expected, Faith, Leslie, and Teresa, who I think is the dark horse.
You do?
I do.
Oh, I don't. She's too ugly.
I think Faith is the one. No, what I meant is I didn't expect her to get chosen.
I did expect her to get chosen. When we got down to the end and they were doing the rose ceremony, I looked at them all and I'm like, she's the only one.
Yeah, she's the only one.
Because it's not going to be the other ones.
It's not going to be Ellen or Susan. Nope. Or Susan was there for the show. She was not there. She never had a connection. I mean,
she was the lighthearted fun girl.
She was like the house mom.
She was. And she was funny. And she
they
was
kept
always
her until the very end, which I'm so glad.
Me too.
And April, if she had stepped it up, she could have been there too, but no, she just kind of faded.
No, April's...
She was not... The chicken lady had to go.
No.
So anyway, so now we have
another East Coaster.
Now, of course, I don't know how you felt about Leslie, but she put on quite a show.
I'm done with her.
I'm over her. I told you. I told you.
You ruined her for me, but then as I watched, I was like, Jamie's 100% right.
She's
100%. She's needy. She's clingy. She's whiny.
She's a level 5 clinger.
Now, unless they go back to her hometown and something
dramatic happens,
there's no way. I think we all think it's going to be what's her name?
If he picks, him
and Faith practically did it on that boat.
It sure seemed like it, didn't it? And the one thing I did point out to myself was the 3 women he chose, they had incredible one-on-one dates.
They did.
I don't even know who else he had one-on-one dates with besides those three.
He did with the one that left early for the
Joan.
daughter. Yes.
Joan left.
But he even said it was like it wasn't romantic. It was more like we
Friends.
just really liked each other.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? Honestly, in the real world, that's something that you build on to see if there's anything
Eventually.
there.
Yeah.
But if not, then
And if you're on The Bachelor, you don't have time for all that. It's like, okay,
No.
you know what? We really don't have time to like get to know each other for a year.
No, this is there's got to be an immediate connection. So
But he's
that we can
hot
move
and
on.
heavy for Faith.
Hardcore.
He wants to bone her. He can't wait.
It'll be super hard for Leslie or Teresa
can't.
to infiltrate. I agree.
Unless she fucks up.
Well, I mean, unless something happens, just like, her,
Or he goes to her house and it's a trailer or something.
and or her family hates him or
something. Yeah.
Who knows? I don't even know where she's from. I
don't know.
I don't remember. I just know.
That's
I know
the exciting part.
Yeah, I know Leslie's Minneapolis,
Okay.
so we know that. And Teresa, I
Can't
just
remember.
I never even.
We'll find
looked.
out. It's.
I mean, we can look on the thing actually.
So do they do all of the family meetings in one episode?
Yeah, usually.
Okay, because that's a lot of traveling for
let's
one
see.
episode.
Teresa is New Jersey, and Faith is Washington, and then Leslie is Minneapolis.
So it's definitely not going to be Teresa.
I mean, I would be very surprised.
Yeah, she's ugly for one. But he said that.
Well, she's the only widow.
True.
And I think that's why.
But what he said about her, the thing about her is, and I could be wrong, and I would actually be happy to be wrong because even though she's not as hot, like attractive wise, she's older.
Yes.
I think she's the same age as him.
Yes,
or very close.
She is.
I think she's 70.
I think the other two are the youngest.
They
Faith
are.
is 60, Leslie is 64, and Teresa is 69.
Oh, okay.
So
she's a little bit younger.
The most age appropriate. Of
Right,
the three. If you want to go
He
there.
said he's like, the thing about her, because he said this in his little recap was, he's like, she's so sweet.
Yeah.
He's like, and I feel at home with her. I feel
That's something.
I feel warm and like, you know what, like that feeling you want with a wife. If you're, you know what I mean?
That's the other thing is like, we're looking at three women who are very, very different. Teresa is simple.
She is.
She is who she is.
She will take care of
honest.
him. Yeah. She's going to be one of those wives that
I
literally
agree.
will comfort him and be there for him, and they'll just have a very easy breezy
Leslie
life.
is difficult. Leslie is a problem.
She's not gonna. No, they'll fight because she will be unhappy at some point.
She'll be crying constantly. She will be constantly needing something from him. A lot of why.
Yeah.
A lot of I don't understand. I thought you had my back. Crap.
Yeah.
All that shit. And
Their kids will probably get involved, and it'll
here's
be a problem.
Oh my god! And here's the other thing. I'm sure the sex would be amazing. Not lights out with her.
Yeah.
She's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But that only goes for so long.
And especially when you're older.
And he's like, I am 71. I don't have time for this.
They're not going to be pumping it out 7 days a week.
No.
Even, I mean, they may in the very beginning.
Yeah.
But
after that,
when they're just living their life.
He's like, I really want to go play pickleball.
Yeah.
And she's going to be like,
and hang out with my kids. And
I'd like to see my daughters, my grandchildren too.
And she doesn't seem like the type to me that can handle the fact that he will always mourn his wife.
Agreed.
Teresa is the one person
I agree
that probably will understand that.
I maintain dark horse. Although
you might be right.
Although I will say that Faith, the only thing Faith, I don't think, negatively speaking, is I think they do have a physical connection. I think you're right.
For
I think
sure.
he really wants to have sex with her.
Does. They won't have sex with each other
badly, and they will have that opportunity.
Yeah. I'm dying to see if they do it.
Because after the
I know,
hometowns-
but you said in regular Bachelor they do that. But
Yes.
this is the Golden Bachelor, so will they?
Will he?
Right?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I think he should.
I do too.
But
you gotta
I don't.
test the product.
What if some of the women? Well, first of all, I don't know if Teresa would. I don't know. I don't know.
Yes, she will.
Well, anyway.
100%. And you know what? It's those type of women that are the nasty little whores in
She's
bed.
like, I could suck a nail out of a fence plank.
Those
She's like, I was married for 45
women,
years.
Yes, those women are the ones that are like, I don't have to show you. I don't have to.
I
be
can
like
be myself
this.
because when we're in bed,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just between me and you, and no one will ever know. And when
Yes.
I'm in front of your friends or our family, I'm going to be the sweetest, most cutest wife.
and then we'll go home and you'll be like, rip off those clothes.
thank you. Do it now. Okay. And the other thing about Faith I wanted to say really quick.
Yeah.
The only drawback I see with her is she has pointed out multiple times that she has a bad picker, that she
That's
hasn't been
Leslie.
the right. Is it?
Leslie
I
said
thought
that.
Faith said something like that too. She's like, I haven't had great relationships.
I think she did say
when they
that,
were on the boat.
But Leslie was the one that she was, I have a bad picker. I've been divorced for 22 years.
Yeah. Maybe she said that specific verbiage, but I swore that Faith said something about
maybe. But she's only 60.
Yeah, she's like I have trust issues. I've been cheated on. I thought that was her. On the boat.
I don't remember. Maybe. Yeah. You know what? I'm sorry. I blocked it out.
Yeah, it was something, on the boat. And I just thought.
I think you're right, actually. I think
I was
like, say that.
It's okay. Obviously, we've all had ups and downs in life. But when that is the thing that makes you nervous about getting your heart broken, I just feel like there's issues. There's baggage. There's trauma.
I think
Teresa has none of that.
No,
she was just happily married for a really long time, and her husband died.
and it's been 9 years for her.
And him too.
His is 6 years. And they were married forever.
Yeah, and they were both married to the love of their lives.
I think with Faith, honestly, let's just say for the sake of discussion, I'm just wondering if she will walk because she's so much younger than him. I mean, she's 11 years younger, and that's like, she's like, I could literally say goodbye to this man any day.
But she hadn't found anybody up until now. It's not like
Don't you ever wonder why that is?
I mean, I don't want to find out. I don't want to be at that age bracket and be completely alone and wishing I was married or wishing I could have a boyfriend and I just can't because I'm old and nobody wants to be with me. But that could be,
I was just
it doesn't matter how hot you are.
Do you think that when we're in our 70s, let's just say for the sake of discussion, we're single, and let's say we're in our 70s and now we're living together in some gorgeous home together, right? Will we be attracted to men our age? Do you think we'll find them attractive because we're old?
God. I mean,
like, does your brain adjust and you look at someone who's 75 and you go, yeah, you're good looking?
I think you have to. I think you're the logical side of you, the intelligent side of you goes, you know what? Because I think what we see.
Dude, I'll be single before I settle.
It's the same way we feel.
I will never settle.
Don't you ever feel like?
I mean, do you think
there's no way I'm 50 years old? Like, I don't feel 50.
Do you think there's a 75-year-old man that would look at me, a 74-year-old woman, and go, "She's very handsome"? I should see what that's all about.
I think we have good genes in the sense that because our mother has aged quite well.
No, I know, but I'm just wondering.
Think we're going to have that problem.
Will we look at someone and go, "Well, you don't look like Harry Styles, so gross"?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just curious.
If I'm being true to ourselves and like how I feel like our personalities are,
we'll
I think
look
we'll
at
look at men
go,
and think they're old.
That's what I'm wondering. But that's what I think too.
But I also think that you and I are attracted to brains more than we are looks.
Absolutely correct.
You and I for sure.
That is true. Yes.
So I think that as long as they're not grotesque,
I will not.
No, of course not.
No, I know what you're saying.
That we will probably be able to like get beyond that.
I just don't know if I could look at someone like Gary at 71 or 72 years old and I'm 60 and I'm going,
he looks great, but
he's spray tanned and he's wearing Tom Ford. This is not his life.
For me,
he wears plaid and Dockers most of the time.
You're more of a substantial person than I am. You're a better person than I am. But no, seriously, if he was really, really, really wealthy,
you would disregard all of it.
Absolutely. 100%.
Well, I mean,
because I've done a lot worse for no money.
You know what? I have said this before and I maintain it. There are a multitude of reasons why people get married. One is love. There are others though.
I mean,
it's not a bad thing.
I wouldn't marry a man that I hated and that was a total asshole just because he was rich.
That's not what I mean. What I mean is when two people decide to get married and there's some kind of benefit beyond just love, I don't have a problem with that.
Well, I think you should get married out for more than love.
Well, and for example, like let's just say for the sake, let's say he chooses the dark horse. He chooses Teresa because she's the perfect fit.
She is.
Everything. He may not love her immediately like today, but the reality is he can see that they are going to be amazing friends. They have a ton in common. They'll both honor their lost spouses together and it'll be fine. Like I know someone, not personally, but I know someone who lost their wife tragically. She died in a car accident, a horrible car accident.
Good Lord.
He had a mental breakdown. He left his job. He moved. He did all the things. He started going to a widow
anonymous group,
like a widow's
support group.
Mm-hmm. And he met his new wife.
Of course he did.
They were both widowed.
Dude,
they both
I'm totally going to go to a widow support group when I become single for that reason.
If you're widowed, I think that's what
a great place to start.
Well, especially if you're looking for companionship and someone to understand. So I think I'm with you. I think Teresa might be the one.
She might. Hopefully, and I'm sorry.
Or if his penis works and he's,
it works. Everything works with
then
the
it'll
pill.
be fake.
But
what I mean is, if he starts thinking physically, he will choose faith.
honestly,
I think he's going to let Leslie walk.
I don't think Gary is. I know we don't know him.
No,
but we know what I've seen on the show. I really don't think he's that shallow.
I don't either.
I think it's been difficult for him to play this kind of playboy,
Yes.
GQ. I don't think that's who he really is.
I think this is very hard for him.
I think it's been really difficult for him to play this part.
Yeah.
But because I think he's actually really normal.
You know what? I want to discuss it at the end of this first season because there's going to be more now. This was way too unpopular.
We all loved it. Really? Do you think we did? I hope so.
I think it's a niche that no one saw coming.
Yeah.
And I think, well, first of all, if you were to read the Reddit, first of all, a whole new group of people are watching it.
We talked about that.
65 plus year old women. And boy, are they judgy. They've already turned on Gary, by the way. They hate him.
Oh, God.
They hate him because they think he's fake. They hate Teresa. They think she's fake. And I'm like, what? I'm not seeing it. Whatever.
Yeah.
And they think everything's real. They're like, how come they're not talking about their religion and politics on this show?
Oh, come on.
I don't understand. That would be really important to me. What are their health issues? And I'm like, oh my God, how romantic. Like, this is Disney, okay? They're not going to be talking about it. Okay?
Right.
They're like, that's what after the show, if there's I go, first of all, this is entertainment. This isn't real. Do you really think a man who's been mourning his wife for 6 years is going to just suddenly find the love of his life on the show?
Right.
No. This is entertainment. Are you not entertained?
Yeah.
Like, that's what this is. And if he does truly find someone to date, great. But the reality is that it's more of an idea that someone in their 70s
you can find love.
And all these women, I mean, how many times have we heard, and I've read, women over 60, you might as well be dead if you want to get married again, or you really settle.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, maybe this is to give people hope. I don't know. And listen, 70 is not what it used to be.
Inspiration.
70 is not what it used to be.
No, I agree.
People didn't even live to 70 that long ago.
100%.
And now they're living to 100. They even said people are going to live past 100 now.
I think most of us in our minds think about...
That's a long time.
Yeah, we think about living into our 80s for sure.
I mean, my goal is 100.
Wow. Yeah, okay. I won't. I'll never make it that far.
I know some people, they're just like, I don't want to know what I look like at 100. I want to be dead.
I don't care what I look like at that point.
No,
once we get to 80, it's done.
I just made the announcement to my children. I'm like, look, I don't care how long I live. I go, but you all have to outlive me.
Yes.
Period.
That is true.
So let's all go jogging together.
Yeah, I'll never make it. I have abused my body way too much. But
okay, so with that being said, at the end of our first season of recaps, I do want to discuss what kind of person should be the next Golden Bachelor. I think if they do...
will they do a Golden Bachelorette?
Probably.
First?
Probably. But if they don't, it seems so wrong that they would do that. But if
Can you see all these old men?
No, but I think it would be hilarious.
It would be, and they have to do it.
I would love it.
Especially because the women are like, oh, they better do one. After what they just put these women through.
These women that just stand in heels and formals until 4 a.m.
70-year-olds filming till 4 a.m. and begging for this man's attention. Oh, they better do one.
I can't wait. Anyway, all right. Well, that's it. We'll talk next week's The Hometowns. We'll have to recap.
Can't wait.
Oh my God, there's going to be tears,
Oh, absolutely. Well, wait. So after he does the home, will he drop someone?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
So it's like they all do it and then they come back on another episode.
So essentially the way it worked traditionally is they go to the hometowns, they meet all the family or whatever, and then they all go to a beautiful resort. Usually it's like Bali or Mexico.
So no one's going to
Italy.
get dropped until the one gets chosen at this point.
So then they go to this resort where each woman has the opportunity to spend a whole 24 hours with them.
Okay.
But the brutal part is that they all stay in the same room. They stay like the same suite. So all the women are in the same suite sharing like this 3-bedroom suite.
Oh, okay.
And then
I'm like, he's not there.
No.
That's just gross.
He literally, but he dates each one for one night.
Takes them out of the suite, right?
Yes,
to their own.
And they can spend the night together. They have a whole day of activities. They do a lot of in-depth discussions, all the things.
Yeah.
All the concerns.
They basically act like they're a couple at that point.
Right. And then I'm sure there'll be some crying.
Yeah.
And then I'm guessing that one of the women will go home on her own accord.
Why does that usually happen?
No, but sometimes it does, especially if she's devastated that he had the audacity to sleep with somebody else.
How do they know? They make it known?
Well, it's kind of hard to avoid.
Well, yeah, because they always come back together. The women always come back together. It's like, well, what did you do last night? Well,
they're like, well, Gary's a very, very affectionate lover. He's very attentive.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
And Leslie's just going to lose her shit.
Well, I mean, I think they all will, to be honest with you at this point.
I don't
think any of them will be like thrilled about it.
Well, and they're like, well, I didn't know, but here we are, and it's my night tonight.
Teresa was the one who's been blabbing about the first date.
So I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, so now she'll know what it's like.
Blab.
And how do they decide who goes first?
She'll probably come in and it's random.
Okay.
She'll probably come and she's like, well, I've been told that I talk too much, so I'm not going to tell you anything about his tongue. You know what I mean?
I would totally say that too.
I would.
That'd be so funny.
I'd be like, you can try to compete with me tonight, but you won't. That's fine.
Besides, he's exhausted.
He
sprained the left side.
I'll be like, well, you can have a good time tonight. I just don't know how much he'll be up for, but that's up to you.
Oh, see, I would hate to go second.
Oh, dude.
I'd have to go first.
First or last?
First or last, yes.
Okay. I know. Disgusting. I can't even deal with the fact that he kisses every woman in the evening.
And I've decided that
it's so gross.
When he does this, I know he's doing it because his mind is like, okay, see if you have...
Be fair.
No.
Check the vibe.
Yeah, check the vibe.
Yes.
Check the vibe. Like, because a kiss will tell you a lot.
100%.
If it's bad,
oh yeah,
it never is going to get good.
You mean like when Susan ate his face? Literally, she's like, and I was like, Susan. She's like, take your crystal and get out of here. She got that little pink crystal.
Yes.
Anyway, she was the best.
She was a sweetie.
I'm glad she got her little mouthful.
I think we'll see her again on some other.
I adored her.
version.
She was so good on TV.
Yeah,
she was so good.
She had a great smile and she had perfect teeth, by the way.
Beautiful woman.
Yeah.
I just wish her hair wasn't so short, but
right,
whatever.
She's a hairdresser.
She likes what she likes.
Yes.
Susan is the best, and
yep, we love you, Susan.
All right, well, thank you very much. Hopefully you guys have a great week.
Yep,
And
happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloweeny if you observe, and we will see you next time. Bye.